The phrase Atlantikoi Pelage was first written down by the Greek poet Stesichorus in about 600 BCE in reference to the sea surrounding Atlantis, namely the Atlantic Ocean. The name Atlantis is short for Atlantis Nessos, literally meaning Atlas's island. Atlas is said to have been the very first king of Atlantis, which was known in antiquity as the Land of Youth. The Greek historian Hellanicus wrote a book titled Atlantis in 450 BCE, which talked about Atlas and his progeny, to wit, the Atlantean race, often described as tall and light-skinned, though distinct from the Indo-European or Aryan race. Plato finally wrote extensively of Atlantis about a century after Hellanicus, and reported extremely ancient histories passed down from poet to poet. Plato recounted that several thousand years before his time, Atlantis was a powerful empire, centering around an island larger than Libya and Asia Minor put together. Mauritania, that is northwestern Africa, was the first Atlantean colony. The Guanches of the Canary Islands and the Beidans of Algeria were in part descended from the Atlantean race. Atlantis had a fertile volcanic soil and was renowned for its abundant harvests of apples, which were believed to prolong youth and preserved good health. Atlantis was dubbed the Island of Apples by the Celtic peoples of northwestern Europe. The famous Welsh proverb, "An apple a day keeps the doctor away," makes reference to Atlantean apples. According to myth, Zeus condemned Atlas to stand at the western edge of the earth and hold up the sky on his shoulders. One of the 12 labors of the hero Heracles was to fetch the Atlantean apples guarded by the serpent Ladon. In England, over the centuries, a number of charms and omens have sprung up about the apple. The Azores is an archipelago in the North Atlantic Ocean, about 1,400 kilometers west of Portugal, 1,500 kilometers northwest of Morocco, and less than 2,000 kilometers southeast of Canada. The Azores and Madeira are the remnants of a large landmass that became subject to subsidence and tsunamis about 11,600 years ago, due to glacial retreat and tectonic movements at the onset of the Holocene. Mount Pico volcano is the highest mountain in the Azores at 2,350 meters above sea level. If measured from their base at the bottom of the ocean to their peaks, the Azores are among the tallest mountains on the planet. They are located above an active triple junction between the North American plate, the Eurasian plate, and the African plate. Ancient folklore depicts Atlantis as an ephemeral land in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, inhabited by priestesses who practiced sorcery and warlocks who engaged in poetry and music. Covered with lush vegetation, Atlantis boasted lakes and waterfalls, and its gardens and vineyards were neatly bounded by stone walls. All of these features are still present in the Azores today. The caldera of the Seven Cities volcano used to contain 3 concentric rings, which became filled with rainwater and formed moats surrounding the central crater. As the moats overflowed due to a series of earthquakes, their waters gathered into two lakes known as the Blue Lake and the Green Lake. From 15,000 to 10,000 BCE, the Atlanteans were able to explore the entire Atlantic Ocean, Mediterranean Sea, and Black Sea, and colonized several regions of the Americas, Africa, Europe, and Asia Minor. In the Americas, they gave rise to the Clovis and Paleo-Indian cultures, noted for their use of fluted spear points and peculiar spear throwers called atlatl. The Atlantean American legacy consists mainly of petroforms and medicine wheels in Canada and the United States, dolmens in New Hampshire, effigy mounds in Ohio, and rock paintings in Brazil and Colombia. Legends of Atlantean sages perceived as white gods survived until the 16th century among Amerindian populations who mistook the arrival of European colonizers for a second wave of Atlantean civilizers. In Europe and the Middle East, Atlantis brought forth the Solutrean and Magdalenian cultures, whose greatest legacy consists of temple complexes such as Stonehenge in England, Menidra in Malta, Adlit Yam in Israel, and Göbekli Tepe in Anatolia. Remarkable stone circles and alignments are found at Beltany Island, Karnak, France, and Karahunj, Armenia. Other interesting sites linked to the Atlantean civilization are the Zetes Dolmen in Portugal, the White Horse figure near Uffington, England, and the engravings in the Adaura Cave in Sicily. Atlantis sat atop a geological feature known as the Mid-Atlantic Rise. Following the catastrophe that befell Atlantis in the 10th millennium BCE, much of the land sank into the ocean, leaving behind a cluster of islands, some as small as Villafranca Islet in the Azores. Most animal species were wiped out. Only bats took refuge in the island's caves, and lizards found shelter in crevices and burrows. Atlantean navigators managed to flee to the European shores. However, those who ventured into the Mediterranean basin were repulsed by warring city-states such as Athens. The Basque people inherited the Atlantean language, while Celtic Druids are regarded as the repositories of the Atlantean folklore and belief system. A few similarities have been detected between the Basque language of northern Spain and the Nahuatl language of central Mexico. Surprisingly enough, cognates are common even in Welsh and Armenian vocabulary. In the Americas, Atlantean survivors were assimilated by Amerindian populations hailing from Asia. Today, the Azores and Madeira are two autonomous regions of Portugal. They were settled by Portuguese navigators in the 15th century. Soon, Sephardic Jews, Moorish prisoners, and a few European traders contributed to the earliest communities. The Azorean economy relies mainly on agriculture, fishery, and shipbuilding. Ancient megaliths and pyramids have been discovered in the less populated areas of the islands, as well as on the nearby ocean bed.